Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing a crochet kit that I got from Five Below. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we are doing another crochet kit from Five Below. This is by, I believe, Innovative Design LLC. Halloween kits were horrible. The Wicked kits were great. And so hopefully these Grinch kits are going to be just as good as well. Today we're going to be doing the Grinch. Next time we're going to be doing Max. So let's get into this. In this kit, you're going to be getting a bunch of stuffing, a few spools of yarn. Very scary if it's this much. I doubt it. You get a crochet needle, a plastic sewing needle, some embroidery floss, and then you get some eyes. This is a cute little kit. It doesn't really look like the Grinch, but it kind of does. So, you know, I guess it would be tough to make a crocheted item look exactly like the Grinch. I'm really hoping that the instructions were just as good as the Wicked ones. We do not want to see any more of those Halloween ones. Alright, so here we have some interesting, ooh, this is like not regular yarn. Uh-oh, so if we run out of yarn, you're going to tell the difference if I use a different one. But we've got like some plushy yarn. Oh my gosh, look how soft it is. You guys, this feels so soft. And it's not that green, but I think it'll work. Here's your stuffing, and here are the instructional booklets and abbreviation legend. Okay, so that's pretty much, I'm going to put this in here for now. We're not going to need it. Now, for some reason, I've been getting a lot of comments lately about the instructions missing. Either it's been missed or misplaced, I don't know. But if you have this kit, there is contact information on the box. Here you go. Okay, if you are missing something, go call this number. Go on their website, check it out. They should help you out with that. I am not an ambassador for Innovative Designs Inc., so I cannot help you. I would love to help you, but like I said, I can't share instructions on due to copyright. I'm only here to just teach you how to do the stitches. Alright, so one sheet has the abbreviations, and it does have a brief description as to how to do it. I do it my way. You can do it the booklet way. It's up to you. Alright, the next sheet is the actual instructions. We're going to start with the head and body. Is he all one color? That's not bad if he is. And it looks like the instructions aren't a mess like the Pennywise ones, if you've seen that. So let's get straight into this. If you need to speed up or slow down the video, go ahead and click on the gear button in the corner. There's playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me talk, you can lower the volume on your device and click on the CC closed caption button. So I want to open this packet. It has all the other accessories that you're going to need to complete this kit. I just need the needle, that's the hook that's sticking out, so alas, I'm just going to pull out the hook. We don't need this for now. The one thing that they don't give you that I do believe you should go out and get at a hobby store or online, Amazon's a good place to go if you don't feel like going out anywhere, because I know sometimes I don't, are these stitch markers. They are there to help you keep count of your stitches, also there to help you keep count of your rows. There's going to be moments where we're repeating the same instructions row by row, so you want to just make sure that you keep track of how many you're doing. Alright, this spool of yarn is pretty sad. I'm hoping that it's enough to finish the project, so I'm going to make my stitches tighter than normal. but it's not a normal spool, so once we unravel this, all havoc is going to wreak loose upon my workstation here. So you just gotta work with it. Wasn't I holding? Okay, I was like, wasn't I holding the other end? Where did it go? All right. A little excited. These are, oh, see, all over the place. In this situation, I always try to grab the inside end, which potentially could be hard to find in this mess. So, you could take your time and unravel it, roll it into a ball. If you have that machine that'll help you grab the yarn as you go, you can use that. I don't have any of that. I'm just going to hope that the crocheting gods are kind to me in this and just not tangle up this ball of yarn, but highly unlikely. Alright, let's see what you got me doing. Alright, we're going to be doing some simple stitches. So, let's show you how to cast on using a slip knot. To cast on, you're going to use your ring, pinky, and thumb. Hold one end. You're going to use your index and middle and hold the other. Hold your crochet hook perpendicular to that, and we're going to go down, out, and around, and it's going to create this loop where you can slide the hook up and down. Let's slide it towards the thumb as low as it can go. Then you're going to take your middle finger and just hold it right where it crosses so that you can let go of your left. So now we're just going to gather up some feeder yarn, and then you're going to repinch this end as low as you can go, and then also bring your crochet hook down close to your thumb, pinch where it crosses with your middle finger so that you can no longer slide your hook up and down. From here, you're going to want to yarn over, and that's pretty much taking the feeder yarn and putting it over the hook. So yarn over, and then we're going to pull this through the loop. I'm going to overhand my hook and repinch the end as close to the end as possible. We're going to push this knot towards the thumb. So keep pushing until you can no longer push anymore. Okay, and then just for an added little tug for this knot to make it nice and snug, take your middle and thumb and just pull out that little excess piece just a little bit to tighten up that knot, and then we can slide the knot closer to the hook, like that. Alright, so let's start doing our first set of instructions. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. Alright, so I'm just going to gather up some feeder yarn here, and I'm trying to do it to where I don't disturb the lot of this spool here. Seemingly impossible. Alright, so we're going to teach you how to do a chain stitch. A chain stitch is one of the basic stitches of crocheting. It's one of the first stitches that I learned how to crochet. So what we do is hold the knot down like this. You want your project to be stable. It'll feel better too if you don't hold it. It's going to be like this. Yeah, impossible. Okay, so now we're going to yarn over, again putting your feeder yarn over your hook, and then you're going to pull this through the loop, and there is your chain stitch. So let's talk about the chain stitch. The chain stitch has 3 loops. You have a loop on this side, a loop on the other side, and you turn it on its back, and you have a little loop at the back. I call this the hump. So we just did chain 1. Let's do another one. So hold your project. We're going to yarn over, which is putting the feeder yarn over the hook. Then we're going to pull this feeder yarn through the loop, and that is another chain stitch. So as you're looking at it, it's looking more like a braid. So again, each chain stitch has 3 loops. 1 loop here, 1 loop on the other side, and then you flip it on its back, and then you have a loop right here on the back. I call it the hump. Okay. So what it's asking you to do now is to do single crochet stitches. And I'm going to talk about when you have something like this, why we do what we do. So the next set of instructions tells you to put single crochet stitches in the second chain. And this is okay for me to say because this is universal. The height of a single crochet is about a chain. So when they tell you to make a single crochet in the second chain, it's because this first one is building the height. So just pretend that this chain does a complete 90, and then from here on out is going to be your single crochet stitches. It's going to be around the same height. So that's why they tell you to do it. So second chain from hook, you're counting from the hook. So again, you skip this first one because it's the height, and now you can put your single crochet stitch in the second chain from the hook. Alright, so let me show you how to do a single crochet stitch. So first we got to do is stick our hook into the next stitch. In this case, we're skipping the first and we're putting it into the next stitch over. Now, universally, you can put it on the top loop here. That's how normally you would do it. But if you do, you kind of destroy the little braid situation going on here. I like how it looks. It looks so pretty. You never know if this side, even though it's the bottom, if it's ever going to be exposed. Sometimes it won't, sometimes it will. But just in case, I like to stick my hook into the back loop. So like I told you before, every chain has 3 stitches. Here's 1, here's 2. You turn it on its back and you have 3. And this is the little hump that I call it. So stick your hook into that hump right here. When you stick your hook into the hump, it's 1 loop. You flip it upside down, and there are the other 2 loops of the chain stitch, and it's the braid. So that's what I'm saying. You get to preserve the look of the braid, and then you can still do what you need to do for the instruction. So to finish or to continue this single crochet stitch, we're going to yarn over, putting the feeder yarn over the hook. Then we're going to pull this through the first loop, like that. So now you have 2 loops on your hook. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So it might be hard to see because it's fuzzy, but we did our first single crochet stitch. Here's the chain stitch that's building up for the height. And then here's the top of the single crochet stitch. It also looks like a braid. A loop on this side and a loop on this side. And then this is what the side profile looks like. Alright, so we've got to do another one. Let's do another one with you guys. So stick your hook into the same stitch that we just used. And you can tell because it kind of pulled it. It's the larger hole here. Stick your hook into the same stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop. So you have 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over again and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So now we have 2 single crochet stitches. And we have our chain stitch for the height down here. This is what it looks like sideways. But let's do one more time with you guys. Stick your hook into that same stitch we just used. We're going to yarn over. You're going to pull up a loop. So you have 2 loops. Yarn over again. And pull through those 2 loops. So now we have 3 single crochet stitches. And the chain stitch for the height. Alright, so now they tell you, the certain number of single crochet stitches. I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. You can rewind this video as many times as you need until you get comfortable doing single crochet stitches, but I'm going to continue on right now. Alright, so looks like they have us doing spirals. But anyway, I want to mark the last stitch I made so that I know where I'm going to end up. So take your stitch marker and I'm going to slip it underneath the two loops that make the stitch. The front loop and the back loop. So stick your marker just under those two. Make sure you don't pierce the yarn. You want a nice clean passage. I think I might have pierced something. Okay, I think I'm good. Close it, and then we can start round 2. So for round 2, we're introducing brackets and increasing stitches. So what you want to do, the first round, the second round actually is going to be always the difficult one for me, because since it's a little scrunched up here, it's hard for me to find the last stitch. So count off the number of stitches required for the first round. I mean, after what we did, not the first round, after what we did with the single crochet stitches. For some reason, they don't call that round 1. This should probably be round 1, but the next one we're doing is actually round 1 in their instruction. Okay, so from here, we're going to count back the number of stitches we needed in the previous instruction. Wow. Okay, you're going to stick your hook into that last stitch, and then we're going to start off with a bracket. So I'm going to explain the bracket. When you see crochet instructions and they're inside a bracket, sometimes they're inside a parenthesis too, but in this case a bracket, what's entailing is that you're going to repeat all those instructions inside the bracket the number of times required. So you'll see an X next to a number. That means times. So we're going to be repeating instructions that many times. So now in this instruction it says ink, and ink means increasing stitches. So what that means is you're going to do 2 of the same stitch, and right now we are assumed to do single crochet stitches. So that means for every stitch that is an increase, we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in that same stitch. So we've got our hook into the next stitch. We're going to do an increasing stitch. So like I said, this is basically going to be 2 single crochet stitches in here. So let's do 1. And then stick your hook into that same stitch we just used, and we're going to do 2, the second single crochet stitch. So that's all it is. It's taking 1 stitch and turning it into 2 stitches. Alright, so now we have the brackets, and we're going to just multiply it the number of times it says to. So let me show you how to do an increasing stitch. Stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in here. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then stick your hook back into that same stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So again, we have 2 single crochet stitches coming out of 1 stitch. So let me show you this one more time, you guys. Into the next stitch, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over, you're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then you're going to stick your hook into that same stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So we have done 3 of these with you guys so far, so now I'm going to just do the rest. It's pretty much the same thing all the way around. I thought this yarn would actually be a little bit more greener than it is right now. So I'm not seeing it personally. You guys might say different. but I'm not seeing the Grinch in this color. At least not yet. But I love that it's plushy. It's so soft. Alright, so I'm going to remove this marker. And I'm going to replace it under the last stitch we made. So again, take your stitch marker, find the last stitch you made, and stick it under the front and back loops of that stitch. Make sure you're not piercing through anything. And then we're going to close this off. And then in this instructional booklet, they're calling it round 2. Alright, so now in this set of instructions, we have brackets and we have a multiplier. So, sorry, I got my beverage. So in this instruction, we have to alternate single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. So let's do that now. You basically, like I said, just need to alternate single crochet stitches and increasing stitches as the instructions in that bracket say. And then we're going to just repeat that over and over again the number of times it asks you to as well. So once you've learned how to do the single crochet stitch, the increasing stitch, what the brackets mean, you can pretty much do the majority of this project so far. There's going to be another stitch. I'm sure there's more than that, but I think typically there's one more stitch that you're going to need to know to get this done, and I'll show you how to do that. But see, it's kind of fairly simple once you figure out how to do the stitches and what the instructions mean. It ends up becoming easier for you. I mean, especially you know, if you absolutely know nothing about crocheting or the crocheting world. So all right, just finishing this up. And then also what you can do too is every time you finish a round, if you're a beginner, always check if you have the right number of stitches, again by counting from the hook all the way around. So I finished that part, and we're going to do round 3. And we're basically going to be doing single crochet stitches all the way around. So this is fairly easy, but I've got to gather up some more feeder yarn so that I'm not struggling in life here. So there's different techniques of carrying your feeder yarn. If you've seen my videos, I am just a little crazy about it. I put so much yarn around my finger, and that's just a bad habit that I picked up when I was first learning, and that's never going to change. I like doing it that way. I'm sure there's daintier ways of doing it. Yeah, I don't. Alright, so hopefully this can hold me off for now. And ever since the Halloween, maybe even before that, oof, all these videos seem to be video requests, most of them. So after the holiday season, I can get back to doing the regular kits. I'm gonna try to throw them in during the week if I have time, but right now there's so many Christmas kits I have to get through. Christmas and winter kits. Okay, so we're gonna do single crochet stitches all the way around, and you know what? I'm gonna do this So I did round 3. We're going to do round 4. We have a bracket, and we're going to be alternating single crochet stitches with increasing stitches by the number of times the instructions tell you to do. Just to talk about it a little bit, your project is going to start curling inward, and that's normal. But the problem is that we are looking at the wrong side of your project. So what you want to do is flip this inside out. So push the center and fold out the outsides so that the inside becomes the outside. And if you look closely, you can tell the difference. Here on the right side, you have beautiful individual stitches, and you can see the spiral on your project. On the other side, it was kind of choppy. So, all right, so we're doing the brackets and we're alternating single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. Alright, so now that that's done, I'm going to just replace this marker to the last stitch that we made. And then we're going to continue on with round 5. So round 5 is a little bit more lengthier. What we are doing is alternating single crochet stitches, increasing stitches, and single crochet stitches inside this bracket. And we're doing it the number of times it asks us to. So getting a little bit more exciting if you consider this exciting. All right, replace the marker under the last stitch we made. Okay. All right, so now we're going to be doing, oh wow, 6 through 11. So this is what I'm saying. So if this marker, let's say, is supposed to be around 6, then I'm going to use these to keep track of the other rounds. So if this is supposed to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So I know that I have to use up all of these markers, and we're doing the same single crochet stitches. So I'm actually going to do this in silence, but yeah, again, go and get yourself these markers. I love them. So, in silence. All right, so I completed round 6 through 11, and now we're going to be attaching the eyes. So go into your little packet here. And we are going to dump the eyes out. Set this aside for now. And I like how they actually tell you what rounds to stick them in on. So you want to find the side that looks the nicest. Since this is where the seam is, I want that to be the middle. Flip this over, and this can be the front. All right, so you can also look at the booklet, the box, to help you out with where you want to put these as well. So, oh my goodness, everything's falling. Okay, so let's take the eyes. Oh, they actually tell you the exact location. Oh, that's going to be a nightmare. Maybe I should have left the markers in here. All right, so. All right, I'm just going to put this to mark the row. It doesn't mean it's going here, because it does tell you what stitch to put it in. So we have the first one, and then we're going to do the second. Okay, so here. Okay, and then we're going to put the backing, putting it the cup side facing towards the eye, and you're going to hear a click or two. Same thing for the other eye. All right, so now that we have those in, they have you move on to round 12. Now, the thing with this is if we have an opportunity right now to sew the like the eyebrows and the nose, we should do that. Take advantage, because as this gets smaller, it's just going to get harder. Sometimes they have you place it at the end where you're stuffing already, and that is probably the most difficult time to do it. So I'm going to skip down to where it says the eyebrows. And I actually, okay, Innovative Designs, I actually love these instructions. It's telling you exactly where to put these things. Oh, lucky stars. It seems like they're doing a lot better. They probably recognized that the Halloween kits were horrendous and decided to up the ante with Wicked, and then up the ante, double down with the Grinch. Okay. So let's take the dark green here, and we have to find, the end. Oh, here we are. Okay. Then we're going to thread up. Now this isn't very long, So I'm going to actually try to feed the whole thing. If you don't want to deal with this craziness, you can cut it shorter. But because this isn't that long, I'm going to use this whole thing so I don't have to cut it. That way I can preserve most of this yarn and not waste it. So, because we still have that problem. The instructions might be good, but I still also experience the materials not being enough. Alright, so it tells you where to put this. Okay, and then we have our instructions on how many stitches apart that doesn't make any sense. Oh, yeah, it does. Let me check the box. It doesn't tell you how many far apart you need. So I'm just going to look at the box and then hope for the best on that. The thing is... Alright. I'll put it through one end. And I'm going to go all the way through. Like I said, I'm going to do this whole thing. If you don't want to deal through the whole thing, you can cut it shorter. But I'm trying to conserve the yarn. Alright. And then we're going to, I think I might do 2 passes. Let's see what one pass looks like. There's one. Yeah, we'll do 2 passes. And then from here, we're going to skip some of the stitches and do the other eyebrow. Uh-oh. I removed the crochet hook. Right, so I'm going to finish this eyebrow, but then I'm going to go straight to the nose because we're using the same color. So, let me see. All right, let's see if that's... Then we're going to do the nose. Oh, darn it. If you miss the row, you can always stick it back in and have it come back out where you want it. Okay. Then it says we have to do this 3 times. And then we're going to go in. Let's see. And then I'm going to tie this to that first piece that we had. And I'm going to tie it like 3 times to make sure that it's secure. Okay. Turn it inside out. And we have our face. Oh my gosh, stop it. Look how cute. All right, let's continue the rest of the rounds. I'm not going to do the mouth yet because, let me see, does it tell me? Yeah, it actually does. Okay, so let's roll this up. It tells you what round to put the mouth in. I think we have room. So I'm just going to do that, but I'm going to get the embroidery floss. Okay. And I'm actually just going to cut this because we're not going to need much. This might actually be too much. I like to try to not waste materials because down the road on another kit, I might need it. All right, so we're working around here. And we're going to go right in here. Okay, I'm going to leave some length to tie later. I kind of have it go down like this. So I'm going to flip this inside out. And I'm going to double knot this. And trim it. Actually forgot about the hair. Let's see if is there something I can do with the hair. No, that's actually crocheted. All right, so set this aside. We're going to go back into our next part, which is round 12. And this actually introduces the decreasing stitch. So whenever you do these amigurumi kits, for certain you're going to see increasing and decreasing stitches as well as single crochet stitches. So let's go learn how to do a decreasing stitch. So for round 12, we have a bracket, and inside we are alternating single crochet stitches with decreasing stitches to single crochet stitches. So I want to work the single crochet stitches, and then I want to show you how to do a decreasing stitch. So unlike the increasing stitch, whereas you take one stitch and turn it to two, the decreasing stitch is the opposite. You take two stitches and turn it into one. So to do that, you stick your hook into the next stitch. You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop, so you have two loops. Then you're going to stick your hook into the next stitch and you're going to yarn over and pull through that loop. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. So again, we took 2 stitches and made 1. All right. So now I'm going to go back to the single crochet stitches, and then we're going to repeat this bracket as many times as the instructions say. But I'm going to go and show you how to do the decreasing stitch at least 2 more times. So do the decreasing stitch. We're going to stick our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops. Stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop so that we have 3 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. So again, 2 stitches we made into 1. So let's continue our brackets. And then I'm going to show you how to do a decreasing stitch one more time. All right, so stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all the loops. So again, 2 single crochet stitches into 1 stitch. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat the brackets the number of times it tells me to. And then we'll see what the next bit of instruction says. Place the marker. And then we're going to do round 13. So for round 13, we have alternating single crochet stitches with decreasing stitches the number of times that we are asked to do it. So I've already shown you how to do a decreasing stitch 3 times. So you should be able to do these on your own. I'm just going to gather up some yarn here, and I'm going to work this out. All right, I'm a little concerned because I think I'm more than halfway through my yarn, and it looks like, oh, okay. Well, I still have about 8 more rounds to go. I still have hair to do. Worst comes to worst, I can use the dark green. But yeah, I don't have yarn that matches this, so if I run out, I run out. Okay, so I'm going to do 13 the alternating single crochet stitches with decreasing stitches. Got out what I was doing there. So as you see, you can easily undo the work that you just did by pulling on the feeder yarn in case you make a mistake and you want to take back a stitch or two, or all of it. All right. So now we're going to do round 14. Ooh. So for round 14, we're introducing front loop only. And then we have our brackets with single crochet stitches and increasing stitches, of course repeating the number of times it tells you to. Let me explain what FLO is. So FLO stands for front loop only. And so what that means is we're only going to be using the front loop. So when I talked about the stitches and what they look like, I tell you what the parts are. So when we look on the top of the stitches, I said it looks like a braid. We have a loop on this side and a loop on this side. When we look at our project straight forward, I'll tell you what the loops are called. So this loop here, it's going to be hard to see because this is a light color, is the front loop. This side here are the loops and they're called the back loops. So when they tell you to do front loop only, we're only going to work on the front loop. So you stick your hook from underneath and come up only at the front loop. So whereas we normally put our hook under both loops, the front and the back, we are now only going to do the front. Okay, so working front loop only, and this is for this row only, we're going to alternate our single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. So let's do that now. Sticking your hook into the front stitch, we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to stick our hook into the next stitch, front loop only, like that. See, the back loop is just chilling there. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Then we're going to go stick our hook into the the next stitch, front loop only. There's the back loop. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops. Oh wait, is this decreasing or increasing? Oh, son of a gun. It's increasing, not decreasing. Let's take it back. All right, let's do the increasing stitch. So front loop only, stick up through the front loop only. We're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in here. And I said it about 1,000,000 times, alternating single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. So this is the front loop only. Let's do this 2 more times with you guys. So stick your hook into the front loop only right here. We're going to do our single crochet stitch. All right, then take your hook. We're going to stick it into the next stitch, front loop only. And then we're going to do our increasing stitch. And then one more time with you guys. Stick your hook into the next stitch, front loop only. We're going to do a single crochet stitch. Then into the next stitch, front loop only. We're going to do an increasing stitch. All right. So I just want to take this minute to show you the back side of this. You might not be able to see it, but there's a straight line of just back loops that haven't been used. I'm trying to angle it so you can see it. It's this faint little line, and that's because those are all the back loops that we didn't use. Okay, this line right here. So I'm going to just go around and keep alternating the instructions in this bracket using the front loop only. And then you can rewind this video as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing these on your own. Right? We are going to stick this under the last stitch we made. And we are going to be doing some single crochet stitches. I'm going to just gather up some yarn, more yarn than this, so I don't have to keep grabbing it. All right, so for round 15, we're gonna do a new stitch. So let's get comfortable with this nearing the end of the road for the body part here. All right, so for round 15, we are introducing the bobble stitch, but first we have to do single crochet stitches. Let's just take this by sections. So do the single crochet stitches that they're asking you to do. All right. Now we're going to do a bobble stitch. Let me show you what that is. So, these are kind of fun. They're little pops, little puffs of a stitch, and it tells you the size that it wants it to be. So we're actually going to introduce a double crochet bobble stitch. And then there's a number on here. So let me show what that means. To do a double crochet bobble stitch, you're going to yarn over, you're going to stick your hook into the next stitch, then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops. You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. Okay. So then we're going to yarn over, we're going to stick our hook into that same stitch, we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So we have 4 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over, we're going to stick our hook back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now we have 5 loops. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So we're left with 4 stitches. Let's do this 2 more times, you guys. So yarn over, stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to the same stitch, we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So we have 6 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we're left with 5. Let's do this 1 more time, you guys. So yarn over, put your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So it might be getting really tough for you to do it, but we are done now. We have 6 loops left on this hook. So yarn over and I want you to pull through all 6 loops. So as this is scrunching up and happening here, you want to pop it out with your middle finger. So take the center of that bobble and pop it outward. Okay. And we are going to go into our single crochet stitches. So let's do that. If you can find it, the next stitch over and do your single crochet stitches. And then in case you weren't aware, this just made an arm. So this is really cute. Okay. And then we get to do this bobble stitch again. So in the course of this project, we're going to be doing this obviously 3 more times to do the arms and the legs. So let me show you how to do it again. You're going to yarn over and you're going to put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So we have 2 loops left on our hook. We're going to yarn over, put your hook into the same stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So we have 4 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2. And so we're left with 3 loops on our hook. Alright, so yarn over, put your hook into that same stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So you have 5 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So we're left with 4 loops. Alright, so now we only have to do this 2 more times. So yarn over, put your hook into the same stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So now we're left with 5 loops on our hook. 1 more time, you guys. Yarn over, put your hook into the same stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to finish off this bobble by yarning over and pulling through all 6 loops. And after that's done, you can take your middle finger and pop the center of that bobble and push it out. And then we're going to finish off with the remaining single crochet stitches. So if you can see it, we're putting our hook into the next stitch. We're going to replace the marker. Put it under the last stitch we made. And you know what? I'm looking at this and it looks like they're going to have you stuff both the body and the head. Can I get in here? Yeah, we'll save it to last. I was actually going to do it now, but we're going to do the hair. I feel like before we close this, we should do the hair, so that way we can hide all of our stitches, our knots, because I tied it in the back and side. All right, let me just get more yarn. I'm still a little worried because I probably have a third of the yarn left, and I just want to make sure that, or at least hope, that we're going to have enough yarn for the whole project. So hopefully we do. We have 5 more rows to do, rounds to do. So a little excited. This is so cute. Yeah, I am changing my mind about this Innovative Designs LLC. Not bad. They probably had someone actually do these and tell them where they're falling short on. They're still falling short on material though. But anyway, all right. So for round 16, we have a set of instructions to do here. We have single crochet stitches. Then we have increasing stitches in brackets by the number of times the instructions tell us to do, and then we're going to finish off with single crochet stitches. So let's do that now. I lost count. Okay. It's a good thing I had those stitch markers there. All right. And then we're going to do our increasing stitches. Okay, then we have our remaining single crochet stitches. Replace the marker. Okay. Now, let's see what we have here. We are now doing round 17. Ooh, yay. And this one is pretty straightforward. So we're just doing single crochet stitches. I'm going to do this in silence and pop back in, and we're going to see what round 18 has in store for us. All right, I did that. Now for round 18, we have a number of single crochet stitches, and then we're going to do the bobble stitch again. Then we have a lot more. So let's just focus on those two for right now. But I'm just gathering up some yarn here. Man, I'm actually going to check the time on this video right now. If it's like close to 2 hours, I mean, how long will this take? I could probably do the hair. I don't know. It looks like a lot, but it might not be. Yeah, but I'm going to check the time after I finish the body. All right, so we're going to do the single crochet stitches first. Okay. Then we have to do a bobble stitch. I'm going to show you guys how to do this one more time. So again, yarn over. We're going to stick our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over again, stick your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to do this again, yarn over, stick your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Then we just have to do this 2 more times, yarn over, stick your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over, stick your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now we have 6 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 6 loops. Now you're going to take your middle finger and push that center, that back center of the bobble stitch out so it forms this ball. All right, so the next set of instructions, we have our single crochet stitch. Right, and then we're going to do a decreasing stitch. So let's do that now. Okay. Then we have to do, the decreasing stitches in brackets. So we're going to have to do that the number of times that the instructions tell us to do it. All right, and then we're back to our single crochet stitch. Oh my gosh, it's forming a belly. I cannot. I'm laughing and it's hurting. Okay, let's do a bobble stitch. So I did this 3 times already to where I think you can do this on your own. So we're just going to do that. All right. It's crazy. This one's more far out than the other. That I don't like. I think maybe it's just my eyes. Okay, so now we have the last single crochet stitches left to do. Okay, remove the marker, put under the last stitch we made. Okay, so now we're back to round 19, and we are doing front loop only again. So we're gonna just be alternating our single crochet stitches with decreasing stitches all the way around using front loop only. I'm trying real hard not to stuff yet, even though I want to, because I'm going to try to do the hair while it's still empty. But yeah, so let's do round 19 front loop only. And it's really hard for me to see the loops with this color yarn, so if you're having that same problem, comment below, let me know. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe my vision isn't doing as great as it used to. Alright, put this stitch marker under the last stitch we made, and then we have the last round, which is pretty much decreasing stitches. So let me just real quick check the time that we have on these. If we have enough time, I'm gonna go ahead and do the hair. If not, we're gonna stop right here and then do a part 2 and continue the hair. I don't want to stuff yet because we have opportunity to make a nice clean Grinch without any knots sticking out everywhere. Alright, be right back. Alright, I actually have 20 minutes, so I read the hair instructions and it looks like we don't need to leave this empty, so let's just put this stuffing in here, and I don't think we're gonna need stuffing anywhere else, so you can put this whole thing in there if you want. That all depends on your liking. This is a lot. All right, so just so that this is not in the way, I'm going to pull on out this crochet hook, but I'm also going to make this stitch, this loop, really big. That way I don't lose the stitch. Okay, so now we can go in and do this piece by piece. It's easier to do piece by piece because then you can control the shaping of it. If you put it all at once, it's going to be really hard to manipulate. I think this might be a little too much stuffing for me, so okay. I still have a lot of stuffing left, not needing it though, so I'm going to stick that back in the box. Then I'm going to stick my hook back into my project, and you just have to pull on the feeder yarn to tighten up this loop here. And I'm going to do the last round. So we still have round 20 to do. I felt like I should stuff it now because it is going to get smaller substantially with this round. So go ahead and do that. It's going to be a bracket of decreasing stitches. Actually, probably didn't need this much, but whoops. Right, so try to keep to prevent gapping while you're doing decreasing stitches. You want to flatten out the curve, make it as straight as possible, and you want to keep your loops very snug. You don't want it to get loose. So let's do our decreasing stitches, and we're going back to normal, using both loops to do these. And then you're also going to want to try avoiding sticking your hook in the fiber fill or stuffing, because it's going to pull out of the project and you're going to be able to see it. It's going to be an eyesore. remove the marker. Now, the instructions say to stuff, we already did it. We're going to close. See, imagine putting all that stuffing through this hole. So now we have to fasten off. And how we're going to do this is, I'm just going to wrap my yarn around the circumference of this hole twice to give me the size of yarn, length of yarn I need. And we're going to fasten this off, and I'll show you how. So what you're going to want to do is yarn over. We're going to pull through the loop all the way out. Then we're going to tighten this up by pulling on that tail here. Then you're going to take the yarn and thread up your needle. Then it says we're going to be using the front loops. So go in and out of these front loops all the way around until you get back to the other side. Okay, and once you're on the other side, you just pull, and all the stitches are going to be drawn in. It's pretty cool. Actually, like that. Then I'm going to find my moment to tie a knot. I'm just going to go around a stitch, make this loop, and then I'm going to put my needle in a couple of times, and then pull. And that's just how I do a knot. I don't know how to sew, so that's just how I do it. If you know how to do a better way, go ahead and do it. But I'm going to stick my needle right where it comes up and come out in a random spot. Okay, it doesn't really matter where. I just want to pull this, and then we're going to pull that length. You don't want to pull it too hard because you don't want it to dimple like that. You can always fix that by pulling it back out. But yeah, I'm just going to cut this flush to the surface, and then you can squeeze it to make it disappear. And then we're good to go. We're going to do the hair next. Okay, so for the hair, we're going to take this yarn, it's all jumbled up. I don't even know where the end is. I think we're just going to finish this whole thing. It's going to be a little over 2 hours, but what can you do? All right. For the hair, we're going to have to attach the green yarn. So let's cast on with a slip knot. So take your ring, pinky, and thumb and hold one end, index finger and middle finger at the other. We're going to take our hook and we're going to lie it perpendicular to the yarn. And we're going to go down, out, and around to create this loop. We're going to slide it up and down, slide it down towards the thumb. We're going to put our finger where it crosses so that we can let go of the left hand. And then we're going to get some feeder yarn here, re-pinch the end, move our hook closer to our thumb, and where it crosses, just pinch it so that we can no longer slide it up or down. Then we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through the loop. And then I'm going to overhand my hook, re-pinch the end as close to the end as I can get it. And then we're going to push this knot towards the left thumb and push it until you can't move it anymore because it's either close to the thumb or the knot is too tight for it to move. And then you're going to take your middle and thumb and pull this little piece out to where you can tighten up that knot just a little bit more. And then we're going to slide the knot closer to the hook like that. All right. So you have to turn this to its on its left side. Okay. And then we're going to use the top of the head here. It tells you where to go on top of the head. And then you have to find that crease, right? And then we're going to start counting the stitches because it tells you what number stitch you're supposed to be in. And if you haven't done this long, okay, you can kind of, you won't really, it's hard to tell where it was. And actually, I'm having a hard time trying to find it now. Holy crow. I think it's here, but at the same time, I feel like, how come I found this so much easier before? I think it might be this right here. So we have to count our stitches. So it's going to be between this and this. And we have to start at the center of the ring. So we're going to attach this by doing a slip knot. Let's do that. So we have this on the hook. We put our hook into the center coming out of the first round. They told us where to put this at. Then we're going to yarn over and we're going to do a slip stitch. A slip stitch is basically taking this feeder yarn and pulling through all the loops off the hook. So there we go. Center of the head here. Right, now we can do round one. We're going to do chains. We've done this before, so let's do the chains. Okay. Then it wants you to do a slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. So, we explained this part before. Skip one and put this on the second chain from the hook, and I'm going to use the back hump. Okay, and again for the slip stitch, we're just yarning over and pulling through all the loops off your hook. Okay, and then we're going to do a slip stitch in the next chain. Wow, so this is hard to see. Okay, right here is the back loop for the next stitch, and this is the excess piece. I'm going to try to hide it in there with it. So yarn over and pull through all loops off your hook. Oh, it's so short it's not going to hide. It's okay, it's hair. Okay. Alright, so this next part is a little confusing. We're working between the center of the ring and yeah, I don't know. And then it says we're going to be using the stitches 1 and 2 between the starting ring and round 1. Okay, so I guess we gotta go back here, and I think this would be 1, and we're using round 1 and 2. Wait, 1 and starting ring and round 1. I'm thinking it's here in the back. So let's look at the box. Yeah, it's kind of in the back. All right, let's do round 2, row 2. So we're gonna do our chain stitches. Oh, but we have to slip stitch. Wait. No, we just have to do. We have to do a slip stitch because what am I gonna do here? Do a slip stitch. Now we're gonna do our chains. Do your chains. Okay. Then we're going to do a slip stitch, second chain from hook. So I'm going to slip it in the back hump here. We're going to do the slip stitch. Then we have to do slip stitches in the next 2 chains. It's going to get a little crazy to hold because that body is in the way. But let's do our slip stitches here. And then the one more. All right. Now work between the center of the string ring stitches and first and second. So we're going back in the same one. All right, so center and working back here again. How many strands of hair does this guy got? All right, and then we're gonna do a slip stitch because you can't just make a chain with a loop hanging here. So I'm gonna do a slip stitch, and then we're gonna start doing our chains. This is kind of cute. All right, do your chains. Okay, then we're going to do a slip stitch, second chain from a hook, and then we're going to do it again. Oops, slip stitch. All right, now it's kind of telling you how to do a knot, but we kind of did it this way. I guess we needed a longer tail, but that's fine. I'll show you how to finish this off. You don't need the booklet. All right, so now that we did our strands, I'm just going to go around a stitch here, and we're going to do a slip stitch so that we can anchor this last little piece down. Okay. And then we're going to fasten it off. So let me show you how to do that. So cut about an inch or so of your yarn after you did that slip stitch. Okay. Then we're going to yarn over. You're going to pull through the loop and out. And then pull on that tail to tighten it, so we have something like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up from anywhere in this head. I'm going to go just below the surface because you don't want to puncture that stuffing. So go in there carefully and try to like glide up just under the surface, and you want to pop up right where the yarn is. We're going to yarn over and you're going to hook it. We're going to pull this back into the head. And as you're pulling it, you just want to drag that whole end in there. Okay. And then we have this to deal with, right? Just push it through all the way out to the other side and you should have no problems. Like, I wouldn't try pulling it out in case you pull the stuffing by accident, so just push it all the way in. So now we have this part completed. Yay! All right, let's grab our red and white. We're almost there, you guys. Comment below, let me know how it's going. Let's take a look at the instructions. All right. So those instructions are completely confusing. Wasn't I just holding one of the ends? Okay, here it is. But we're gonna figure this out. But not for nothing though, for the most part, these are pretty good, and I obviously had enough of the green, so I'm already happy. Doesn't take much. But this part here is a little confusing. I think I got it, not too sure. So let's see. I'm going to take this. It says to make a loop. Does it tell you how? I don't know. Maybe in the instructional booklet. Let me see. Loop, loop, loop. I don't see any loop. Just double checking. Alright, yeah. No way. But I'm going to literally do what it says, what I think it says at least. I'm going to put the red and the white together. We're going to cast on with the slip knot. I'm going to lie this perpendicular to the yarn, go down, out, and around to create this loop. We can slide the hook up and down. Slide it down towards the thumb. Put your finger where it crosses so you can let go of your left hand. Gather up some feeder yarn. We're going to repinch the end, and then we're going to slide it closer to our thumb and then pinch where it crosses all of that yarn so that you can't slide your hook up and down anymore. Then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull that through the loop. I'm going to overhand my hook. I'm going to repinch the ends. We're going to push this knot towards the thumb until it hits your thumb or the knot gets tight enough to where you can't push it anymore. So at that point, we're going to take our middle finger and thumb and just pull out the end, tighten up that knot just a little bit more, and then we're going to slide the knot close to the hook. All right, so now we have this red and white. We're going to be alternating colors. So it actually says the white first. We're going to make chains pretty much. So just going to yarn over and pull through both loops. Then we're going to take the red, drop the white, pick up the red, then we're going to yarn over with the red and pull through the loop. Then we're going to pick up the white and yarn over and pull up a loop. So you see what's going on here? We're just alternating the colors. And it says to keep doing this until you get the desired length. It also gives you a suggestion of numbers of chains that you can do. So I'm just going to keep yarning over, alternating the color. So I think I'm going to want to be able to wrap the length twice, either 2 or 3 times around the Grinch's neck. There's plenty of yarn here. So I am thoroughly amazed. I am so happy. Merry Christmas to us, because there's nothing Grinchy about the instructions. Oh well, some parts were a little confusing for me, but I was able to finagle the Grinch. At the end of the day, however you do it, however I do it, as long as you get the Grinch made, it's done. It's made. If you are struggling and you have difficulty still doing it, you know, I tell everyone that has that comment just to take a break. Crocheting is a nice skill to learn. I learned it when I was very young, so to imagine getting frustrated not picking up things when you're little and you don't quite understand things, but I kept at it. There are books that I have that I got from like Walmart and Michael's, and you know, some of those projects stumped me years ago. And then I'll go back and do them again later because I really wanted to do, you know, this doily or whatever, and a hat. And then it works out, you know. Sometimes you just need to take that break and then revisit it later. So I always say, don't give up. And that's for anything you want to do. Like me making this channel for you guys. Oddly enough, this is, you know, if you're on my second channel, this is the second channel. And there were a million times where I was like, yeah, I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do this. It's not working. But I just persevered, and here I am. So hopefully this video can be helpful to everyone. If you accidentally pull your loops out a little bit bigger than you want it to, you can always pull on the feeder yarn to get it back down to a size that you like. I'm just going to go ahead and test this out. So yeah, I'm going to want this a little longer. Oh my gosh, so cute. This is a weird thing for me to do right now. I'm not comfortable leaving these feeder yarns like this. Only doing chains. The chain stitch is a very loose stitch, which is why I say, like, if your stitch gets a little longer by accident, you can always pull it back with the feeder yarn. But I'm not feeling at all comfortable. So if you are having difficulty with this, I feel it. Like, this is not what I normally do. Alright, I'm just gonna make it this long. Is this even the number they said? Let me do a quick count. It's actually close. So let me just do a few more. Okay, and then for the last stitch, I'm going to do both. Oh, but we're going to cut it. Yeah, let's just do this first. Pull it through. I just want it to look like the other side, though. let's do one more. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to have to cut it twice, so let's just cut this once. I'm going to pull this all the way out. We're going to tighten it up. Oh, well, it doesn't look exactly like it. This is pretty loose at the beginning here. It doesn't matter. And then I'm just going to trim this down to make like the little fringes even. Okay. Got it. Then I'm going to tie this around off to the side. Let's make the nice pretty braid show. Okay. And I'm going to just tie it on this side here. Let's double knot it. Go. Maybe a bow tie. I don't know. I'm not good at tying either. Well, now he looks like a... Let's just leave it this way. Okay. Golden. All right, you guys, is that it? Oh my gosh, I just cannot. Oh, we're done. Wow. Okay, well, we're over 2 hours, but at least we got it done. Comment below, let me know how it went. This is all the yarn that I have left. Great, this is wonderful. We're off to a good start with these Grinch kits. Thank you so much, Innovative Designs, for that. All right, thank you so much, you guys. Comment below again, let me know how it went for you. I'm gonna put this sideways so you can see the full guy over here. The Grinch. Comment below, let me know what your favorite Grinch movie is. I know the cartoon is obviously the classic. I consider that apples and pears compared to the live movies, and then the yeah, just the live movies. I feel like they do like Pixar now. I could be wrong. I think so. Yeah, it was that, but I don't think it's the same storyline. Anyway, my favorite movie though, aside from the cartoon, is the Jim Carrey one, of course, because he is just amazing. And yeah, hands down, that was probably my favorite Grinch movie. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much. The next time we meet again, we're going to be doing Max. So looking forward to doing that. Hopefully it'll be the same hoopla as this one, nice and easy. And then we get leftover yarn too, because that's better than not having enough. At any rate, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.